So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to roll it over in your mind. Who is the most underrated defensive defenseman of the modern NHL era? Okay, I'll give you a few hints. It's got to be somebody from Manitoba. It's got to be somebody that mimicked Rick Green and Rod Langway and the other defensive defenseman role models of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Former Team Canada player. He was a college standout. Played for Team Canada in a number of international events. He's Olympian. He's a world championship medalist. Well, it can only be one person. I know. I don't want to just state it right away. I want you to think about it. The great Curt Giles. Now, Giles led the Minnesota North Stars to 2 Stanley Cup appearances in a decade in between, in 1981 and 91. And in that era, again, he was possibly one of the most consistent defensive defensemen the NHL ever saw. Now, born in the beautiful community of The Pass, Manitoba. For the Americans, Pass is here is only spelled with one S. Born November 30th, 1958. Not the biggest drink of water. 5'8", 180. Now, before he was drafted in 54 overall in the 4th round in the 78 draft, he had played with Humboldt of the SJHL, our very popular junior A squad, and he's played 3 seasons with Minnesota Duluth of the WCHA, where he was one of the best college players in the NCAA in the late 1970s. He was an NCAA West All-America first team in 78, All-Star first team in 78 for the WCHA. He was a Minnesota Duluth Siler Award winner in 77 and 78. 78 was a co-winner. He was Minnesota's Rookie of the Year in 76. Minnesota Duluth's captain in 78, and he also held several Minnesota Duluth records. He had the most points in one game versus Michigan State, 6 versus Colorado College as well. On December 16, 77, he shares the record. He has the record for most points in one game for the defenseman, which he did against Michigan State and Colorado's games. Most assists in one game, 6 versus Colorado College, which he shares a record. Most assists by a defenseman in one game, 6 for Colorado College in that famous contest. He entered Minnesota Duluth, get this, at age 16. And let me tell you something, a great 16-year-old player. Now, he's going to debut in the NHL on October 14th, 79, wearing his famous number 2. Now, although he never won a cup, he again helped the team to an 81 final appearance, helped knock off Montreal in the 80 playoffs, and 10 years later against Mario, Minnesota lost the series to the Penguins. Now, he was Minnesota's Masterton Cup MVP in 81, 85, and 89. He was the Minnesota Dill Cup winner for Best Defenseman in 85, 86, 88, 89, and 90. He was the Minnesota Emery Edge Award winner in 85 and 86. He won the Minnesota KMSP TV Award for Community Service in 90 and 91. He was Minnesota's captain from September 89 until October 4th, 91. He was Minnesota Tri-Captain in 89. And again, he played on the Minnesota team that went to the 91 Stanley Cup Finals, but did not play in the final series versus Pittsburgh due to ongoing injuries, and he had a lot of injuries. Now, he missed part of the 81 season with a strained right knee, suffered in the February 81 contest. He missed part of the 84 season with knee injury, suffered during the game versus Toronto. He served as Minnesota's alternate captain in 85 and 86, as well as the first part of the 87 season. Now, bad strained knee in 86, which occurred versus Washington January 25th of 86. He missed end of the 86 season with a tumor in the bone of his left ring finger. Now, this is a true story, by the way, and a lot of people don't even talk about it because the only thing Ronnie Lott is comparable with the 49ers. He had a portion of his finger amputated on March 24th, 86 because of a tumor in it, enabling Giles to compete in the 86 Stanley Cup playoffs. Now, we're not saying what portion it was left or right or top, but imagine cutting off a part of your finger to play in the playoffs. Of course, that was year Montreal won. Now, he missed part of the 87 season with a back injury suffered in January of 87. He missed the end of the 87 playoffs with a shoulder injury during a playoff game versus Philly on April 14, 87. Now, he was interim captain during the 88 season when the great Craig Hartsburg was injured. Now, he also missed part of the 89-90 season with a groin injury, which was suffered during a game against Toronto on November 6, 89. He also had a strained lower back in March 1990. He also missed part of the 91 season with a sprained ligament in his left knee, an injury he suffered during a game against Washington. He retired for the first time on October 4th, 91 after clearing waivers, and of course that's when he stopped being captain. Now, he left the franchise, Minnesota in 91, with the franchise record since broken for career games with 760. Now, he went to Team Canada for a while, and he eventually ended up in St. Louis. He missed parts of the 93 season with a knee injury, suffered in the Blues' November 21st game versus Tampa Bay, and with a strained shoulder on March 30th of that year, and he was released by St. Louis on June 30th, 93. Now, this is what happened. He ended up with the Team Canada Olympic program in 92, one of the best Olympic teams in Canadian history not to win a gold medal. Now, a lot of people remember Giles as part of that bronze medal winning team at the Worlds in 82. That was a very strong Team Canada. But 92 Olympics, Canada came within one overtime shootout goal of winning the gold medal, but unfortunately it didn't work out. Now, no, 92, excuse me, 92. No, he won the silver. I'm getting confused for a second. We'll check that in a second. Now, he was an NCAA, again, the NCAA awards were quite strong. He was an All-America first team in 79, All-Star first team with them in 79. He won the Silent Award. He was Duluth captain in 79, and he made the Minnesota Duluth Athletic Hall of Fame in 1991. Now, his coaching career is quite prominent. He was named Indiana's high school's head coach prior to the 2000 season and remained there for several years. Now, a very literate guy. He majored in secondary education at Minnesota Duluth. Now, he also played on a Minnesota team that competed in Sweden's 1980 DN Cup tournament and was the event's penalty minute leader with 8. He was also on the Minnesota team that joined Montreal to compete in the 1990 NHL Friendship Tour in Soviet Union. Now, again, of course, he came out of retirement to play for Team Canada in the 92 Olympics. Now, nicknamed Pengy, he also played on Minnesota's off-season charity softball team. He was also active in numerous other charitable causes during his playing days in Minnesota, working to raise money for one of his favorite causes, spina bifida research and treatment. He also worked for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. Now, he was named one of the WCHA's all-time top 50 players by the conference on March 7th, 2002. Now, how he ended up with the Rangers was quite interesting. Now, Giles, Tony McKechnie, and an 88 second-round draft pick, which turned out to be Troy Millette, were sent to the Rangers in exchange for Bob Brook and in return of Minnesota's 88 fourth-round pick, which eventually was Jeff Stolp, on November 13, 86. 1 year later, Minnesota got Giles back from the Rangers in exchange for Byron Lamo and future considerations, but he lost Giles again when he cleared waivers and retired on October 4, 91. He later came out of retirement and signed with St. Louis on February 29, 82. So you look at Giles' rough stats, and he don't tell the whole story. Now, he coached several years in Edina and very popular down there. His team won a state title in 2010, 2013, 2014, and 2019. Now, the numbers of Humboldt were quite strong in the 74 campaign. He's first. He had 23 points in 49 games. With Minnesota over 4 seasons, he would average 33 games, with his best season being 77 with 49 points in 37 games, including 12 goals. Now, he only played 42 games in the minors in his career, which was quite amazing. Oklahoma City in 1980. Best campaign for me, generally, was that 1985 season where he had 30 points in 77 games, 25 big assists. You would rarely take a bad penalty, like a very, very intellectually strong player. But I'm still shocked he was traded to the Rangers. But again, Minnesota got him back later on. And because of injury, of course, he couldn't play in the finals in 91. Now, with Team Canada International in 92, he had 3 goals and 6 assists for 9 points. And a big goal, of course, in the Olympic year in 1992, and those 2 seasons with St. Louis. Now, I want to go over a little bit on that 92 game. We lost to the unified team that year. I think they defeated us. What was 2-0 in the 2-0 in the final. We could have easily bet the Russians, but like I said, we weren't strong enough to make it work, as we say. So I mean, it was a weird tournament because very strong team. We won the Group B that year, and making to the quarterfinals was a great benefit. But Canada had a lot of problems with Russia that year, and it paid off in the final. But I want to go over how good the 92 team was, and Curt Giles was a big part of that. And I covered the squad in Campbellton during an Olympic friendly against Russia. I want to go over some of the players, because this is a who's who. Yeah, Dave Archibald, Todd Brose, Sean Burke, Kevin Dahl, of course Giles, Dave Hannon, Gordie Hines, Fabian Joseph, very underrated player, Joey Juneau, Trevor Kidd, Patrick LeBeau, Chrissy Lindbergh, Eric Lindros, Ken Manerville, Adrian Plastic, Dan Rutushny, Sam Ceylon, Bradley Schlegel, Wally Schreiber, the ageless wonder, Randy Smith, Dave Tippett, Brian Tutt, and Jason Woolley. Now, I can tell you Curt Giles made the defense for Canada one of the strongest that year. And like I said, it was probably one of the better kind of combination NHL minor league tournaments in category history. And that year, again, we almost got knocked out by France in our opening game. We won 3-2. We bet Switzerland 6-1, bet Norway 10-0. We bet the Czechs 5-1, and lost to 5-4 to the Russians in the key game. Now in the quarterfinals, we bet Germany 4-3, bet Czechoslovakia in the semis, and excuse me, it wasn't 2-0, it was 3-1. I was getting confused because of the next year, the close-up Olympics 92 and 94. But the United States team was very strong that year. They almost knocked off the unified team in the semifinals. Some late goals took them out. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, just to recap very quickly, Curt Giles, no matter where he went, he was a winner. And I really think that if Giles was available in a 91 final series, it might have been a little bit different. I know stopping Mario and Jagr would have been hard, but it goes back to 1986 when he showed up in the playoffs, and when the announcer for Hockey Night in Canada said Curt Giles is available because he cut part of his finger off, he went ooh. But it reminded, like I said, of Ronnie Lott and other NFL players who had to make big decisions to play. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a legend of Pengi, Curt Giles. If you like what we're doing here, we're a Minnesota podcast. Let us know with a like, comment, or subscribe. And we'd like to thank all our contributors and suggestors to the channel. And people wonder why I'm doing a lot of Minnesota lately. And I'm gonna tell you in all seriousness, right? I miss the original Minnesota North Stars. I went through being a fan. I saw them do well in 71 against Montreal. I saw them basically merge with a team that should have been NHL in the first place. And, all the transitions. Seeing the team leave for Dallas, replaced by the Wild. But the Minnesota North Stars, I would always, they should have a second NHL franchise in Minnesota and call it the Minnesota North Stars. Tell me what you think. I'd like to see Minnesota back. We have Dallas, but Minnesota North Stars, just like the Cleveland Browns. Thanks for listening. Bye.